What's up, everybody? It's Drew McGee with the IVM group. Hope everyone's having a great week. Really quickly wanted to share another video with you today. We're going to be back into Salesforce again. Today, looking at the roles and hierarchy functionality in Salesforce. A lot of us in our CRM instances like to restrict the ability of other people editing other people's records, all right, or seeing everything that that person's doing in our CRM instance. For example, everything that the marketing team's doing in our CRM doesn't necessarily need to be seen by our sales team and vice versa, right? So roles and hierarchy is a great functionality to allow us to do exactly that, right? Increasing the visibility of our management or other people on our team and decreasing the visibility of other teams in our CRM. BDR teams, SDR teams, account management teams, marketing. It can be so complex and it can really fit anything you're trying to make it work with, right? So really quickly, just wanted to share one quick thing with you before we dive into actually creating and assigning the roles. If you go to your sharing settings, right? If you search sharing settings and setup, this page will pop up and you can go right here, right? And if you go to your sharing settings, your company organization wide defaults, if you do not have these boxes checked all the way over here on the right, grant access using hierarchies, the roles and the hierarchies will not have an effect on that specific record. So if you're like, why isn't this working? Make sure to go in your organization wide defaults and make sure those boxes are checked, because if they're not, it's not going to have any effect on the roles and hierarchies, which some people might want, right? So just, again, increasing that customization. So super cool, super cool. So if we go over to our roles page, right? So how do we get here? If we go to our setup and then we scroll down on the left and go to users and then roles, we can see all the roles in our organization. Salesforce out of the box does a great job of providing some generic roles that you can assign to your team. There's a lot of them. So I like to start from scratch, start with a blank board and make sure my roles and hierarchies fit my company and my sales and marketing platform specifically, right? So I came in here, I deleted all the generic roles, created some, and want to show you guys exactly how to create a new role. And it's like I said, it's known as the tree view, right? So you can see right here who reports up to who. So everybody marked as the East Coast sales team role will give visibility of all their records and activity to whoever has the VP of sales role. And if you see, it's on the same level as the VP of marketing. So the VP of marketing won't be able to see everybody and what they're doing on the marked as East Coast sales team, but they would be able to view everybody who has a role underneath them. And then if you see both VP of sales and marketing funnel under that CEO role, so then that CEO role can see anything going on in their CRM instance, right? So super cool how it can break down and kind of increase visibility for people, needing that visibility over everything happening in the CRM, right? So how do we add a role? Super simple. We see the button right here. We can add a role. Let's add another role under our VP of sales. We got our East Coast sales team. Let's get our West Coast sales team here. So quickly mark as such, the API name will automatically populate. The role reports a VP of sales. If you accidentally click something wrong, you can click the lookup window and change which role it reports to. And we always want to put the name to populate in reports. And I love the ability for people to view all the contacts, not necessarily edit. I like to restrict editing as much as possible, always picking view. And then if I need to allow edit access to between users or roles in my organization, I'll use a specific sharing rule on that specific object, right? Just trying to restrict that as much as possible. And then we hit save. And then that's going to create the role, right? So if we go back to our roles, and then, so now we'll see that role we just created under West Coast sales team. So now everybody on our West Coast sales team, everybody on our East Coast sales team, regardless of the things we're trying to restrict between each of those teams, our VP of sales will be able to see everything that they're doing, right? So think of it as this way, just to stay organized and minimize the amount of roles you have in your system. If you have a role that's created for a group of people, label it as such, right? If you have a role that's only going to be one person or two people, then follow that, right? But just staying organized. So don't think that you have to create a role for each individual person in your organization. That's what I'm trying to say there. You can add another role that goes in between, your VP of sales and East Coast, maybe East Coast sales manager, West Coast sales manager, right? Like I said, possibilities are endless. It can get as complex as you want it to, but it's a super useful tool in kind of keeping everybody organized, keeping everybody on track, and just limiting what data they can see that other teams are producing, right? So if we go over to users, how do we assign a role to somebody? So if we go over to our users page, we can click my user profile, and it's super simple. You edit the user, and then right here on the top right, role specified, you can say East Coast sales team, save, and now that person is assigned to that role. Super, super cool. Real quick, want to show you again. If we go back to our sharing settings, you have your organization-wide defaults down here. Just want to show you the possibilities here. We can go to our lead sharing rules. You can create a specific lead sharing rule on one record and point out a specific role and allow that role to share records with other roles. This can get complex again. Reach out, we'd be more than happy to help you. But thank you again for watching this video. I hope it was super helpful. Have a great rest of your week, and thanks again.